Morning guys, hope you're well. My name is Paula and I'm the owner of Evergrace Nail Lounge and Academy here in the beautiful market town of Howden in East Yorkshire. Hope you're well. Not long now till we can go back to work and see our clients, which is absolutely fantastic. So miss them all so much. You know, when you're a lone worker, I work from a salon at the back of my house, and an extension at the back of my house. So when you work on your own, you tend to miss your clients a little bit more, I think. You know, when you're on your own all day, the husband goes out to work, you're on your own, you're filling your time, husband comes back, which is fine, but it's that in-between time you miss the clients or your clients and the conversations and the friendships and all that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my clients again. Clients do tend to become friends as well, so I've really missed having a chat and catch-ups and all that kind of thing, so I'm really looking forward to that. Fingers crossed the date sticks with 12th of April, but who knows, might be a little bit longer than that from the rumblings in the jungle, but we shall see. I'm sure I can cope with an extra week or two if it came to that, but yeah, it's getting to a stage now where I really need to see them and have a chat and catch up and yeah, see how everybody's gone on in this lockdown. It's been a strange one. So quick update before I get on with what I came on camera to say. You know me, I like to waffle. So you remember the vlogs that I did with regards to my little entry to Nailympia that I was creating? Yeah, oh my god, I submitted the entry about 3 days before the date closed for entries, simply because I was suffering a little bit of imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically you get kind of nervous and your self-confidence dips a little bit and you just think, why on earth am I submitting my work to be judged alongside all of these absolutely nail masters throughout the whole world. You know, I could reel some names off for you, but they're absolutely just world class. So, you know, I just got a little bit of a, you know, oh my god, they're gonna hate this. I love it, but they're gonna hate this. My nail art is very much Marmite nail art, I think. You either get it and you love it, or you really don't get it and you hate it. So I was just hoping and praying that I could hold my head up high and come away with some decent scores and some great feedback so that I could improve on that. So yeah, the category was the last to be announced and you could have blown me over with a feather, with a feather when they announced my name, and I won gold in Division 3 for Joy of Nails. Absolutely ecstatic, running around the room. So yeah, I'm so grateful to the Nailympia team. Yeah, the moral of that story is don't doubt your talent and don't doubt yourself. Just go for it and see what happens. So yeah, so this is what I submitted. It's a set that is based on Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, but I didn't want to go down the Alice road. I'm more interested in the Queen of Hearts. I think she's more of an interesting character, so yeah, I wanted to create a bit of a Lewis Carroll theme to my Joy of Nails. So I created 3 nail bases, all different sizes and different shapes. I had a Gothic almond, a dragon nail and also a lipstick nail. And I created my fantasy work over the top of those nails and they loved it, so that is brilliant. I'm so thankful, so grateful. So yeah, waiting for my medal to come now, but the level of entrants were just absolutely phenomenal. You know, just scrolling through Facebook and social media, and just being in complete awe at all of the work that was submitted. It was, you know, Nailympia is the creme de la creme of nail competitions. So it does attract the top nail artists from around the world, and just looking through the entries, it's just unbelievable. I'll put a link to Nailympia website down below so you can have a look at the entrance. You will be absolutely blown away, absolutely stunning. So yeah, on to Nailympia Live, which is I think that's September, October time down in London. So we shall see if we submit some entries there. Yeah, I've got the bug again now, so we shall see. So other than that, my other news for you is, as you know, my brand of choice is Mystic Nails, and the distributor for Mystic Nails in the UK is a lady called Rebecca Orme. Now, I came across Rebecca Orme probably about 3 years ago when I went to an event, a weekend event, and Rebecca had brought all of her products to the event, you know, for people to buy and try and use within the nail classes. So I met Rebecca at that point, didn't really know much about her, didn't really know much about the brand. It's not a brand that I'd really heard of before. And at that time I was using a different brand, which I was quite happy with at the time. You know, it's a brand that I'd trained with very successfully, loved the brand. You know, it did what I needed it to do. It was a little on the expensive side, and when you take into account VAT and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I was happy with what I was using. And as time went on, I didn't really have much contact with Rebecca. But gradually I started to become a little bit disillusioned with that brand that I was using, and I wanted to try different brands and see what I thought of different branding, different gel polishes, different acrylics, that kind of thing. So yeah, I got a few products in and tried those out. Some were successful, some were not so successful. But then Nailympia 2019 came around, and I was submitting a fantasy entry, fantasy complete look. So that's the fantasy nails, outfit, hair, all the makeup, all the rest of it. And I needed a model, and I went to my competition boot camp with the brilliant Samantha Biddle. And Rebecca was there, so we were just having a chat, and I'd said, oh, you know, I need a model for my fantasy set, and she said, well, I'll do it. Hang on a minute, you don't really know what I want you to wear yet? Oh, it's fine, I'll do it. I'm happy, I'll be there anyway. So yeah, Rebecca kindly offered to be my model, and she was perfect. Her stature, she's a tiny, tiny little lady. So her stature was absolutely perfect. The entry itself required her to wear a morph suit. If anybody knows what a morph suit is, it's like head to toe stocking with your whole head inside the stocking. So yeah, not everybody would agree to wearing something like that, but Rebecca did, and she was an absolute star. She did a sterling job for me. Absolutely loved it. I think she enjoyed herself as well. But yeah, it was fantastic. So while we were preparing, and I was sat within the competition adhering the nail art to her nails, we were just sat having a chat. We were talking about brands and work and all the rest of it, and she said, well, you know, if you're not happy with what you're using at the moment, why don't you try my brand, Mystic Nails? I went, yeah, I've come across it. I've not really tried it. We'll see. So she sent me some products to have a look at and have a play with. And I was absolutely blown away with it. I absolutely love Mystic. I use it predominantly within my salon work. Most definitely use it with all of my students because I believe in the brand. I believe what it can do for my art. I believe in what it can do for my nails. I believe in what it can do for my business and my clients as well. I've got a client, she won't mind me mentioning her name, Karen, who is the hardest on her nails. That I've never known anybody who can trash their nails within 5 seconds flat, but Karen does a good job of it. So we'd always struggled with finding something that really worked for her. And then once I started using Mystic, I said, well, we've got this, this brand, I've been sent it. It's Mystic Nails. Shall we try it? See how this works for you? And she comes every 2.5 weeks for a gel polish. And we tried it and she was sold, absolutely sold. She was coming back with pristine nails time and time again. So that's what really sold me on the brand for my clients. But what sold me on the brand for my business was Rebecca herself. I don't know if many people know who Rebecca is, but she has had a wide and varied career within the nail industry, much more than I could possibly tell you about. So what I thought would be a good idea is if we did a little bit of an interview with Rebecca, just so that you could see what she's about, how her career's taken place, how it's developed over the years. And she's been in the industry for, crikey, years and years and years. So yeah, I thought that would be fun. So stay tuned because we are going to go over and I'm going to grill Rebecca about her career and her thoughts and what she's about. So let's get started. Hi Rebecca, hope you're okay, my love. Got some questions for you if you don't mind. These are some questions that I know that I were always interested in knowing, so I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are interested in finding about who you are and what you're about and all that kind of thing. So, are you ready? Question 1. So, now I've known you for, as I say, around about 3 years or so. But for those that haven't met you before or don't know who you are or what you represent, introduce yourself.
Hi Paula, thanks for having me. So my name's Rebecca Orme. I am a nail technician, I'm a distributor, I'm a top level nail educator, I'm a session tech. I do so much in the nail industry. I do so much within my own business. I'm now a mother. I have a 9-month-old son who I had during lockdown 1. I'm a wife, and all of that happened in the last 5 years or so. The planets aligned, and I met this amazing guy, and all of a sudden now well, at the moment I'm a work from home mum because we're all in lockdown, and strange things have been happening in the world. But loving life, loving business, and 20 years in the industry so far. Still loving it. I am in business with Sam Biddle. We've been in business for 10 years now with the Be Creative range. We've got a company together called Jealous Cow. Yeah, I know. It was a funny name that we came up with in the middle of a trade show in Dusseldorf. After a couple of drinks, no doubt, as well. But yeah, so we've been in business together for 10 years, bringing the Be Creative products to the world, not just the UK. That's a global business. So yeah, that's me really. The first nail course that I went on was actually not accredited. I didn't find that until afterwards. So I had to do a nail course all over again, which was brilliant. I will admit, and I'm still in touch with that educator. In fact, she works in a college now in Manchester and gets me into that college every now and again, usually once a year at least. To offer masterclasses for her students. So, it's a small industry, even though it's really exploded. It's still a small industry, and I'm still in touch with those people that I was in touch with and educated with 20 years ago. So, great industry to be in, and loved every minute of it so far. It's probably going to go on for a lot longer for me as well. So you've got me for life. You're not getting rid of me.
So what brought you to the industry? How did you get started? What was the attraction to starting your career in the nail industry? So what brought you into this crazy world we call nails?
Straight out of university, I wanted to do something fun. I'd just moved house as well, 20 miles away from where we used to live. So I got no friends around me at that point. I'd just finished university, and my university friends kind of scattered back around the UK from wherever they came from before the degree that we did. So yeah, I found myself at a bit of a loose end. Out of university, it's hard to get a job, and we'd just moved house, like I say, so there was a lot going on. And so I went on a nail course to sort of occupy myself, really, because I got bored pretty quickly not doing anything. Nails had always been a passion of mine. I don't know whether anybody would remember this. Sam Biddle remembers this because we've been in the industry that long together. But there was Spangles nail art kits on the shopping channel on QVC. And during my degree, I used to buy these kits when they were on a special offer, and I would push my assignments to one side when they all got a bit too much for me and I needed a break, and I used to do my nails. So going into university most days, I would have different nail art on my nails, and I kind of just got that reputation for doing my nails and having these, like, I don't know, crazy nails, I suppose, adorned with all sorts of I don't know, crystals and striping tape and foils and all sorts that, came in these kits. And I absolutely loved it. So when I wanted to find something to do just for fun, I didn't want to do another full-on course like the degree I'd just done. I actually went on the nail course, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. It was just, I'd found my thing, I had found my niche, and I absorbed every part of that information on the course that I went on. I had to do it again. So I went in at what I feel like was a better sort of frame of mind still, because I had a step up compared to everybody else. And I will tell you, in fact, that the educator that I went to that second time around, I'm still in touch with her. She's now a college lecturer teaching nails in Manchester, and she gets me in to the Manchester College usually every year, and sometimes a couple of times a year, to do a masterclass or a competition class or something fun with the girls to upskill them and give them a bit of a boost during their course in the middle of their MVQ. So as I mentioned, the first course that I did in nails was actually not accredited. I booked through a company, through a brand, but they kept cancelling my course. So month after month, I think it was about 3 months in a row, they cancelled my course, and then they decided to put me in touch with the educator herself, who I did contact, and they said just organise between you two to do the course. Well, unbeknownst to me, she did the course privately, not through the brand, so I didn't actually get a qualification for that. Taught me a huge lesson at the time. I thought I'd done my due diligence and got myself a course that meant something and was actually going to be of value to me. It was great education, I can't deny that. Even looking back now, I know it was good education. But there were a few things that she hadn't got the full all-round education on herself. And I realised that afterwards, because I had to do another beginner's course. Nobody would let me onto their upskilling courses or the next system that I wanted to bring to my price list, because I apparently wasn't qualified, I hadn't got anything to show for my 4 days and the money that I, spent on an actual beginner's course. So that's a bit of a passion of mine at the moment still, because there are courses like that still going on. So that's a bit of a bugbear for me, and it's something that I really feel passionate about, and making sure that my students and people around me that have done a course that hasn't given them a qualification are still looked after in some way, shape or form. So I do try to help people, knowing that I was in that position at some point. So it's an amazing industry to be in, really, isn't it?
So tell us about your early experiences in the nail industry. How did you get started? Were you home-based, salon-based? And what were the challenges that you found when you first started up?
Okay, so my early career actually, it took a very slow start. It was a slow burn, but once I started doing nails as a nail technician, it kind of skyrocketed fast. So I worked mobile. I kind of I put one advert in, the cards that you can put into a newsagent's window, like I'm selling a pushchair or I've got a litter of puppies that I'm selling. I put an advert into the local newsagent's window, 50p per week, and the local, the girl who worked in the local pharmacy, literally across the road from that newsagent's, saw the advert and called me to have her nails done. So I went and did her nails mobile. And then when she'd had her nails done, the lady from the doctor's surgery was going to pick up the prescriptions from the chemist and saw her nails. So the lady from the doctor's surgery then called me. She was a receptionist, and she said, I'm on reception all the time. I feel like my hands are on show all the time and I'm really embarrassed about them. Can you do my nails? And about 3 days after doing her nails, she gave me a call. And when you see that number pop up and you think, oh God, something's gone wrong, she's got problems with her nails. Because I was fairly new at this, I was like, is everything okay? Or do you need me to come around, and fix it? No, everything's fine. Can you come around tomorrow night and do my daughter's nails and my sister's nails at the same time? I was like, yeah, of course I can. And then while I was there, her other daughter came home from work and said, what's going on here? Can you do mine while you're here? I'm like, yeah, no problem whatsoever. I got home at about 10 o'clock that night. It was just ridiculous, but I had so much fun. It was hard work, but it was the start of my career. And those clients actually passed my number on to other people like you would not believe. And yeah, I got a full book, definitely within 4 or 5 months. I'd got a full diary of people. And it happened really, really fast. So next thing that happened, which was a key point in my career, was that my educator at the time, I was doing course after course to make sure I'd got everything I need. And I was doing the master's course with C&D at the time. And my educator actually met me in the car park to walk over to the salon where we were doing the course at the time. And she said to me, what are you doing tomorrow? Are you free? And I was like, well, yeah, I am free, why, kind of thing. And she said, I need you to cover my shift in the salon if you're willing to do so. And so I was kind of like shocked, taken aback, like, me, what? How am I going to take over your clients? You're an educator, and I've just started out, kind of thing. She was like, no, you can cope with it, no problem whatsoever. They're lovely clients. She said, you won't have any problems with them. I'm trusting you. I think you can do this. So I went and did it, and she found her way out of that salon. She didn't want to be there anymore because she got education that was taking over and other things that was taking over, and it was becoming too much for her. So she needed me to cover a class so, she could free up a bit of her time. Her clients that day, so she could free up some of her time. And I took over her client base and built my own within that salon as well. So I actually worked in that salon 2 days a week, as well as doing my own private clients at home as a mobile nail technician. So that was the very start of my journey. And it wasn't too long after that, maybe 18 months probably went by. I was quite happily doing nails. as a nail technician, that same educator actually came to me just in a normal conversation, and she said, you know, the brand that I work for, because she got a full-time job with the brand, she said, we're looking for distributors for the brand. I think you should you should have a discussion, you should put your name forward for it, and see if it's something that you want to pursue between you. So I actually got in touch with this brand, I made the inquiry, and they said, we need a business plan from you. We need to know what your thoughts are and, you know, how you would go about all of this. So I gave them a business plan. It was 50 pages long. I did market research. I'd got a whole strategy that I'd written down for them, the marketing, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. I'd got profit and loss. I'd got everything in there. And I think I impressed them, because they came back to me within a few days and said, yeah, we'd like you to join our team. So that's how I got started in distributing nail products. I was a sub-distributor for a brand within the UK, and I had my own territory that was the West Midlands. And as other distributors, sub-distributors left or moved around, I actually had my territory increased. So I became Midlands and Wales very quickly, because I was kind of doing a brilliant job in my own territory, and there was nobody in Wales at all. They kind of just said, look, the border's not too far from you. I was living in Worcestershire at the time. Why don't you pop over there and see what you can do? So I spent a lot of time, in fact, most of my time in Cardiff or Wrexham. And then I became London as well. I think I covered London when one of our other team members left. So yeah, it kind of stretched itself out, and I became that brand's UK distributor after a while anyway, after a couple more years. So that brand then kind of it kind of faded into the background just a little bit. The manufacturers in America kind of they stopped innovating, is the only way I can put it to you. It used to be that they brought things out first, and they brought out the best things and the most colourful things, and it was always sort of in the fore of the nail industry. And that kind of started dissipating a little bit, and I felt that happening. So I made the decision to make a break from that brand, and I let a few other newer brands, less well known in the UK brands, let them know that I was in the market for a distribution opportunity, and so I had so many parcels sent to me, from different brands around the world, for distribution in the UK. And I was kind of surprised when I started using the products. I was kind of surprised by the ones that sort of shouted the loudest, but when I tried the products, it was like, oh, it's lacking in some way or other. It was lacking. And Mystic Nails sent me a package after I'd been in touch with them. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely. From the moment I opened the pots and picked up a bead or looked at the colours within the pots, it was just amazing. Their communication was fantastic. The way they presented everything was just beautiful. It felt like home to me. It felt like that's Mystic Nails is where I needed to be, and I needed to bring these products to the UK, and I was just so impressed with them. So that's where that one came from. They had got a distributor in Scotland at the time, but I think within about a year of me starting with Mystic Nails, the Scottish distributor decided to stop distributing, and so I bought all their stock as well, and I became the distributor for Scotland. I kind of just took over that area from them as well. So yeah, whatever I've done, I've kind of gone from strength to strength, really. When I became an educator for the first brand, probably 12 years ago now, when I joined that brand, I became an educator in their first educator training, along with some colleagues that I still talk to now, some best friends in the industry, in fact. And we go through the educator process every 2 years to make sure that we're up to date and we've not lost any skills, or we're doing everything properly. The innovation that's come over the last 2 years, we're being taught, and we're being able to then pass that on to our students. So every 2 years we recertify. Well, after 12 months of me becoming an educator, I wanted to do it again the next year. And the education programme was being run the next year for a different set of educators. And I was actually given the opportunity to do that, and they said, we don't normally do it. You've got to do the 2 years generally before we actually give you the opportunity to recertify. But we think that you could go up a level, and I did. So I went from being an entry-level educator to a master-level educator, and then the year after I said, I don't need to do it this year, do I? Because I did it last year, and they went, no, this is your 2-year certification, Rebecca. You're booked onto it. You've got to do it. Like, but I did it 2 years in a row. Like last year I was here, so I don't need to do it until next year. And they went, no, you need to do it this year. This is your 2-year certification. So I had to do it again for a 3rd year running, which I wasn't planning on doing. But I'm so glad I did, because I went up a level again. So I became an international master artist educator, and I'm pretty sure that I was the youngest person to do that within the brand globally. So yeah, I move up quite quickly. I'm quite competitive. I have been quite driven in the past, put it that way. And yeah, I like to keep moving. I don't like to stand still for very long. I like things to keep moving. I love the innovation of the nail industry, the innovation of Mystic Nails in particular. They bring out things quickly and all the time, new colours, new products. They keep up with everything, and that's me. That's a bit of me. So yeah, loving it.
So what was your career path then? How did you go from nail technician to award-winning businesswoman and educator? How did that happen?
So the brand that I was with originally as a distributor and educator, we were driven as a team. We were together in our vision and our views, and we kind of just kept pushing forward. So everything that came up as an opportunity, like a nail competition, or trying to get to win a big account, we were there, and so I absolutely loved that, and it kind of propelled me forward. And I was a shy person actually before I came into the nail industry. If you speak to anybody that I was at school with or college or even university, I was the one kind of just sat there quietly, and I sat there in the background, and I didn't really say too much. I just absorbed information. I just quietly sort of took it all in, and then went away and did it. So one of the things, actually, I'll share with you a nickname that the sales manager at the time of this brand called me. She said I was the silent assassin, because one day we had a meeting, a brand meeting, so all of the distributors were there. And we came up with this idea and this strategy about going into colleges and offering the students a nail kit, something that was really great, and offering them support in the background, and sort of additional workshops and classes and things like that could really get them excited outside of their MVQ class. And we kind of discussed it, and we put the proposal together and the plan together, so everybody knew what they were doing. And then when it came to sort of that July and August, I'd been around as many colleges as I could find, assuming everybody else was doing so as well. And it turns out that I was putting the most effort in, and the other distributors had got a couple of colleges on board each themselves, so they'd been talking to people and, really got excited about it. Well, I think I brought on 12 colleges that year. So when I put my order in for all of this product that I then got to supply, I got red flagged on the system straight away, because it was a lot more value than they were willing to give me on a normal account, on a normal day. So I had a call from like the top sales manager saying, what is all this product for? You just put this massive order in, and we don't really understand it. Have you made a mistake somewhere along the line? I said, no, I've got 12 colleges on board. That's the product that I need to supply them. They were like, well, you've got a fraction of that cost on your account to use on your 30-day account, basically. And I was like, well, I know, but I was told to go out there and sell, so I've kind of did it, you know. And I said, I haven't got the money to give you up front for all of that. I'll tell you, I think it was worth about £30,000 to me at the time. So yeah, there was a lot of negotiating that went in the background there, but we worked together, and like I say, we just propelled everything forward, and that was just how I liked to work. I like to go into somewhere, have the meeting, see what's going on. I take it all in. I don't necessarily ask many questions. I kind of go on face value, and I just absorb what people are saying, and I go out and do it. Yeah, so my name after that was the Silent Assassin. Something else that happened as well was that I actually went into business with Sam Biddle. So Sam had lots of education going on at the time. That was her thing, and it still is to this day. She just wants to educate people and sort of be that go-to for nail art, design, education, you know, something accessible that people can sort of really gain something from. And people on her classes wanted to know what she was using all the time, so she got a few bits and pieces that really helped with her artwork. Little dampen dishes, sponges, brushes that she used, little scissors that were really sharp and really thin, and things like that, really, that she pigments as well was a big one that she used to use in her classes. And she didn't want to distribute them. She was finding it too much to actually get that stock in and on a class, so make sure that everybody had the stock that they needed, and she just wanted to educate. So Sam approached me with a proposal as to going into a company together and making these products available to people with her name on them, so it's all nicely branded, but I would be the one responsible for the distribution side of things, because that's what I did. I was a distributor at the time and doing really, really well at it as well. And one of our first products was actually the nail art pen. So we launched that nail art pen, which sold out within, I think it was within 30 minutes, something like that. And so we got more stock in as soon as we possibly could, and it's been a top seller ever since. So 10 years that nail art pen has been selling.
So I'm interested in you know, the awards that you've achieved over the years. You know, what awards have you been awarded? What competitions did you enter?
Okay, so competitions wise, I wanted to enter a competition for a few years before I actually did. I was fascinated by them, and I was always at the trade shows, kind of on the sidelines, looking at what people were doing in the competition and following the people that were doing really well and taking medals. And it was an aspiration of mine to enter a competition. But I don't do failure very well, and it scared the life out of me that I might actually enter a competition and not place, just basically not place. It was one of my fears. But I convinced myself that I needed to do a competition because I was at that level now where people were watching what I was doing, and I was educating people, and I think there was a certain expectation of myself that I needed to be as the best. I needed to be as good as I possibly could be for my students, and so I kind of just pushed myself into it one day. And I prepared some nails the night before on my model because I was going in for fancy French. It was the first thing that I'd ever entered, and I thought fancy French would be a nice one to go into. It's not pink and white, but there are small lines involved, and I can play around with it a little bit. So you've got the opportunity to almost hide something if it goes a little bit wrong. It was fancy French. So me and a friend went to the nail competition, and the night before I hadn't prepared anything. I hadn't got anything in mind, and I said to the girl, like, gosh, what shall I do? I'd got to prepare one hand beforehand to go into the competition and match the second hand to the first one. So I think we got 90 minutes, if I remember right. So you couldn't go all out on that first hand and spend 4 hours doing something on it, because you've got to replicate the same on the other hand so that they matched. So it looked like that perfect full set, but you've got to do it in 90 minutes. So it's got to be doable in that respect. And I kind of sat there and I thought, oh, just do what you know you're good at, Rebecca. So I did these 5-petal flowers inlaid into the acrylic, because you weren't allowed anything on the outside of the acrylic. It had got to be glossy, flat, flush. It had got to have a certain amount of small lines on there, but you could play around with a couple of the small lines on each hand. So yeah, I went with my muse, shall we say, and went to the nail competition the next day, matched it up. I was really happy with them. And to my astonishment, they called my name as the winner of that category. So I was absolutely thrilled. It was the only competition I'd decided to enter that day. So, I went out on a high, I suppose. And for the next competition that came round, the next beauty show that came round, I entered another 2 categories. I entered pink and white tip and pink and white sculpt. And once again, true to my style, I didn't prepare for the competition. I just went into the event as I normally would do, because I attended trade shows anyway, and I didn't even take a model with me. So I got into the exhibition with my kit rolling behind me. I took everything with me that I needed, except for the model. And I went onto one of my friend's stands. She got her stand of her own at the time. And I said, I've done something silly. I've entered myself into 2 competitions today, and I haven't even got a model yet. So she called over her niece. She said, borrow her for 3 hours. And I was like, oh my God. So we kind of hot-footed it out to the other side of the arena, registered ourselves in the competition, sat down, and that's when I found out that her thumbnail had been mangled. She'd shut it in a car door 3 or 4 months earlier, and it was growing out with sort of a split through the middle. The new nail was growing out at a different level to the old nail, but it was still attached. But it was all sorts of wrong. So what I did was I called over the judge, who I knew from a previous trainings, previous dealings, and I said, how many points would I lose by painting the wrong hand red? She was like, why would you want to paint the wrong hand red, Rebecca? I said, well, I've got this problem with this thumbnail, which I didn't anticipate. And she said, have you got cover pink in your bag? I said, well, yeah, but it's in my bag, I've laid out my desk. She said, we haven't started yet, Rebecca. Get your cover pink out, put it on your desk. And I said, well, I thought we were supposed to use translucent pink with the white. It's a pink and white competition. She said, read the rules again if you want to. She said, but it doesn't say that you can't use a cover pink. I'm like, oh, okay then. So used the cover pink as advised, painted the correct hand red, and I placed in that competition as well. So I was so thrilled with that. Did the competition in the afternoon. One of my friends came over because she was close to Manchester, and I placed in that one as well. So I just started taking medals from the start, having won my first competition. And that was actually the only year that I actually competed, because my students then came to me afterwards and said, can you show me what you did to win that competition and take those medals? So I started teaching competition classes shortly after that, and that's what I've been doing ever since, as it happens. I still want to enter a competition. I've still got Nailympia in my mind, because I've never entered Nailympia. I'm not sure it existed at that point. The award that we did win as a company was myself and Sam Biddle. We won the Industry Innovation Award, which again was an amazing surprise. Didn't think that we were in that sort of league, I suppose, because we were a brand new company at that time. We were probably a year old, and we'd launched the nail art pen, and it had gained so much popularity that Scratch Stars gave us the award for industry innovation, and it was amazing. So we've gone from strength to strength really on my side of things, like, because I've got my business, and with Sam Biddle as well. We've kind of pushed each other along the way to do great things, I suppose. So yeah, that's my award-winning career.
So I know you're a session stylist. How did you get into that? Who have you collaborated with over the years within your session work?
So session work wise, yeah, I've done a lot actually. I got the opportunity to go to Paris to do the Roland Mouret show back, I think that was 2009 actually. I was there less than 24 hours. I saw the Eiffel Tower in the taxi on the way past it, and I was literally there less than 24 hours. 5 a.m. call after we got there the night before, really late the night before as well. So yeah, it was kind of mad, really. But that was my first experience with doing some session work. Nice to say that it was in Paris for Paris Fashion Week as well. It's a good start to your career for anybody. But about probably 6 or 7 years ago, I got into doing some more session work. I kind of fall into these things really. I've got colleagues and friends that ask me to help them out on things, and when they've landed opportunities, but they need somebody else to help them, or they need some support in some sort of way, or somebody to take over because they're doing another job. That's happened before now as well. So yeah, about 6 or 7 years ago, I got into doing some more session work, and it kind of snowballed again quite fast, really. I met for the first time Robbie Tompkins, and I absolutely love Robbie. He is just the most amazing nail technician. He calls himself a male technician or a manicurist. And he just does the most amazing job. He really does. He's so dedicated. When I met him on set, I think I'd just volunteered for something because I was in London at the time. I must have made a good impression because he asked me to do another show, and then his agents actually started booking me directly to support him, to assist him on other shows and other photo shoots. So we've done loads of things together, like editorials for magazines, Vogue, British Vogue, India. We've done Italian Vogue, I think, as well, and lots of London Fashion Week shows as well. The House of Holland? Yeah, I think it's House of Holland. Henry Holland show. We did that a few years running, in fact. Yeah, so we've done quite a few high-profile Fashion Week shows. And magazine shoots as well. We did a watch shoot for Gucci. We did Giorgio Armani together. I think that was a trunk show. So yeah, done so much. I started working with Jenny Draper as well a couple of years ago. We did Victoria's Secret fashion show. No, it wasn't a fashion show. That was a Christmas, like holiday kind of shoot. It was across 2 days. With all the Victoria's Secret models in London. So that was amazing. We were actually in the manor house, or one of the manor houses, I was told, they've got more than one, that they shot Downton Abbey in. So that was amazing. That was an amazing place to be. What else have I done? Oh yeah, I work a lot with Saffron Goddard these days as well. And one of the last photo shoots I got to do with her before lockdown, I think it was in the January, when we got the lockdown in the March. It was a last minute sort of thing, as it normally is. I've got my kit ready and waiting to go because I think everybody knows that I come from Birmingham and I've got to get myself down to London. So I can't do things at a moment's notice, but I can do them quite short notice as well, as long as I've got that 24-hour period where I can make sure that I'm up in time and in the car and on the train afterwards. I've got quite a good routine of getting down to London. I can get there by 8 a.m. if I needed to. But this particular photo shoot, we were told that there was going to be talent, not just models, talent. So that's somebody of note. That's what that always means. So when I got there, we set ourselves up, waiting for the talent to arrive, and it turned out to be Selma Hayek and Kate Moss. So that was a very surreal kind of day. Kate Moss came straight in and had the room cleared of anybody non-essential just to start with. So I didn't get to do their nails. It was Saffron's sort of photo shoot. She was the lead, the key there. So it was her that was going to be doing the nails, and I did my assistant thing, and I had the polishes ready, had all the samples ready. Anything she needed to be passed, I was there, and it was in her hand before she'd asked for it. That I love to be that assistant. Making sure that she can do her job properly without stressing about it, because you've got somebody so important in front of you. I was due to do a pussycat doll's nails in Harrods. In fact, it was one of the things that they kind of asked me to go and do it because she was an important client. And I got to London, I parked the car, and I got a phone call saying, yeah, don't come in, she's cancelled. Like, I've just travelled from Birmingham. Oh well. I've done Sarah Harding's nails. Obviously, she's going through a bit of turmoil at the moment, so I'm, fingers crossed she comes out of that well. But she was absolutely lovely. I've done Kerry Katona's nails for the Big Brother. She wasn't going into Big Brother. She'd been in there already the previous year, and she was commentating. I think with the launch of Big Brother, when everybody goes in. So I did her nails ready for that event. Who else have I done? Some of the girls from Made in Chelsea. So there's quite a lot really, but I absolutely love session work. I love doing celebrities. I love doing fashion shows. I find the fast pace quite exhilarating, and I love to see that show come together at the end of it and knowing that I was part of it.
So throughout your career then, what opportunities have you had to travel, or have you had the opportunity to travel? I know a lot of educators who educate on your level do travel throughout the world, so tell us a little bit about where you've been and what opportunities that you've had.
So I'm really lucky in the fact that I have been able to travel around the world. Sam and I have had our company since 2011, and because Be Creative was a global brand, we had distributors in different countries. And we had the opportunity then to go and support those distributors in their own education programs, at trade fairs, trade exhibitions, things like that. So yeah, I've been to Slovenia. We went to South Africa as well to do some education there. We were there for a week. Then we went to Las Vegas to do some education. We were there, I think, 5 days. Didn't get to see Las Vegas at all. I think we walked up and down the strip once, just because we were so busy. The classes were like sort of 9 a.m. until 7 o'clock at night, something like that. So it is busy. It's hard work when we do it, and it sounds like you get to travel and you get to teach, and it's all very glamorous. Like the session work would be meeting celebrities and models, and being on these fashion sets, but it's more hard work than glamorous, I can guarantee you. Where else have I been? I have been to Romania. I did a pitch for a big, not a brand, a company that has a number of brands. So I did a pitch for them in Romania. So I was there for probably 2.5 days, something like that. More recently, before lockdown, it was the summer before lockdown, I was invited to go out to the Maldives and do, I think it was 7 or 8 days of teaching. So they got their spa staff who do all of the regular spa services like massage, facials, anything luxurious. And they were doing manicures and gel polish as well, but they weren't actually qualified in gel polish at all. They kind of just picked it up knowing how to polish a nail. They'd picked up gel polish and started offering that as a service, but they needed a qualification. And they were coming across a few issues as well, where their clients were their guests, they call them guests, were coming with acrylic or gel nails on already, and they'd broken a nail, or they needed an infill or a rebalance of some kind. And they had given it a go to infill some acrylic or some hard gel. And it hadn't gone very well, basically. So they stopped offering that as a service, knowing that they couldn't fulfill the requests of their guests in that respect, and got in touch with me. So I actually flew out, all expenses paid, to the Maldives, and I spent 10 days there with the girls. I had a day off at the start and a day off at the end just to relax, but the classes were only 10 till 4, so I got to relax in. They actually gave me a villa. I was supposed to be staying in the staff quarters, but it was the start of the season for them, and they got a few villas that were empty, and as a bit of a perk, they gave me an £8,000 a night villa to stay in, and I had my own butler. I mean, I called him once and apologised for calling him. But it was just the most crazy thing ever. I had the beach and the sea right in front of me with my own private part of beach. I had a swimming pool out front as well. I had a bath in the oasis of a garden that was outside the back of my villa. It was just, it was the most luxurious time I think I've ever spent anywhere. It was just the height of luxury, and I'm so grateful for it. The girls were absolutely lovely, and they took on board everything that I was teaching them so well. By the end of the week, they'd got acrylic nailed, they got e-filing nailed. They worked so hard, it's unbelievable. And after doing a 10 till 4 day, those girls have still got clients booked in from 4:30 until, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, whenever somebody wants a massage, which did happen. But I'm very lucky. I'm a very lucky girl.
So obviously I know that you're the UK distributor of Mystic Nails, and you have Mystic Nails UK on social media, and you also offer Mystic Nails through your web shop at www.rebeccaorme.co.uk. Cannot talk. So tell us a little bit about how you found Mystic Nails, what made you want to distribute Mystic Nails, what attracted you to the brand the most, and why did you decide that you wanted to share that with the UK?
Mystic Nails was a brand that I had heard of. It had been in the UK for a very short amount of time, but I'd never used it. I'd never had anything to do with it. So when the time came where I left the brand that I was distributing and educating for at the time, Mystic Nails was a brand that I contacted, and I had made it known. I'd kind of put it out there that I was looking for a brand to distribute in the UK, and I was kind of available to do so. So I got lots of companies that were sending me their products and samples. But I contacted Mystic Nails and said, if you'd like to, you can send me some details and some products if there's an opportunity there for distribution in the UK. So we started talking, and I liked the conversations that we had. It was all very friendly, it was all very nice and comfortable, and when I received the products, I loved them. That's the only way to put it. I absolutely loved them. I was blown away with the products, and all of the other products that I'd been sent from like numerous different brands. I think I had about 8 different parcels on my desk at one point. I'd picked up all the products that people had sent me, and I was kind of like, oh yes but, and a bit underwhelmed by certain things, or they haven't got a very big range, or there's not many colours, or it's only acrylic, or it's only gel polish. So there was a lot of like, oh God, am I going to find the right brand for me to be able to bring to the UK? Because it's important for me that whatever I recommend, whatever I bring to my customers is of the most amazing quality, but it has like more to offer than just a nail product. It's got to be a multi-line brand. We've got to have acrylic and hard gel and soak off gel and gel polish, and it's got to have all of the accessories that go with it, and innovation and being forward thinking is really important to me, because that's where I was lacking of recent years. So I was really looking for something specific that I was thinking I'm never going to find, what I'm looking for to bring to the UK. And Mystic Nails landed on my desk. I opened up the package and they'd sent me so much across so many different ranges. I was like, this can't be all from the same place. And I got the catalogue as well, which you guys have probably seen, but I'm sure Paul will be able to link it for you. It's usually 100 pages. They do a new catalogue each year, but it's 100 pages of just gorgeousness. It is a multi-line brand, and I just absolutely love the ethos behind it. It's a family-run company. Dora sort of set up the company. She set up the products, she creates the products, and her brother, in fact, is the distribution manager. So he is the one that I have most dealings with, and his team. But their parents actually work for the company as well in different capacities. So it really is, it's that family run sort of feeling, and you get that coming across from them. They do everything properly. They don't cut corners. If there's something wrong with the product, they don't launch it. If there's something that they can't do because it doesn't fit in with their values, then they won't do it. And we get that communicated to us from them. They listen to their technicians, they listen to their clients. So when a formulation changes ever so slightly, they explain to us why. And usually the answer is because this is how it works best, and because this is what people have asked us for. And during our market research, our technicians have said, this is what we want it to be. And they listen to people all the time. They're always forward thinking. They bring out the likes of spider gel, like sort of on the day that everybody else does, or maybe even before the day. And when I inquire about something like, you know, the ingredients in the background, because there are issues with some ingredients depending on where the products are being made and coming from, and the allergy aspect of things, you know, there's always the backup, the support. There's no ingredients in there that cannot be sold in the EU. We've registered it on the CPMP already. It's there. Here are the MSDS sheets. Check it, double check it if you want to, ask any questions, but we have done everything we can to make sure that this is safe for sale in the EU and safe for our customers and clients. And I absolutely love the thought that goes behind it, and the innovation that they kind of they bring to us every day, every week. So yeah, that's why I distributed. Their values align with mine as a nail technician, as a distributor, as somebody responsible for the products that go into nail technicians' hands to use on clients. So it's a match made in heaven, shall we say.
So I know I've got my favourites, my favourite product, but tell me, what's your favourite product and why is it your favourite?
Okay, so my favourite product at the moment, I'm an acrylic girl through and through, always have been, but at the moment I have got a couple of real favourites. Fill and Form Acrygel is absolutely freaking amazing. It blew me away when I first tried it. I didn't expect it to be as strong as it was. So I can put any amount of product down in any length and any shape, and it acts like acrylic. It's just got that strength that I expect from acrylic. So I have been absolutely loving it because of the workability, and it's not curing while you're actually working. For my students, it's really filling a gap for them, and it's won my heart at the moment over the acrylic side of things, because that's normally what I would pick up first. Flexi Builder Base is actually doing a very similar job for me as well. So I'm a technical person. If you know me well, I love nail art, but I do certain types of nail art. I do design rather than artwork. I'm not a painter, I'm not a drawer, so I do design, so probably more contemporary you might call it, or 3D flowers all over that, 3D work, no problem whatsoever, coloured acrylics, smile lines. But I'm a technical person, so I'm all about the structure, the strength, the shape, the degree of the C curve, where the apex is. That's my thing. So fill and form, definitely. And for people who just do the gel polish side of things, and that's all they do, Flexi Builder Base underneath gel polish, or to create some sort of structure to a flat nail, or put a corner on a nail that's broken, give a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra strength to a nail, rather than just gel polish, which you might be struggling with on its own. Absolutely amazing. So I've answered your question, but there's two, not one. Sorry about that.
So at the moment then, what are you working on within your education programmes? I know you're making some little tweaks here, there and everywhere, but tell us a little bit about your education platform. What are you looking for? Who are you working with? And that kind of thing.
Education is actually really important to me. I've already told you a little bit about my story. So the first course that I actually went on was not accredited. I didn't get a qualification, a certificate of any kind, not even an attendance certificate. So I had to do that course all over again. And I'm glad I did. It stood me well. I met a lovely lady who I'm still in touch with now, and we still work together in the capacity she's at the Manchester College. So absolutely loved it, and still learned a little bit more than I had before as well. But it kind of taught me that education is the be all and end all to being successful if you want to be an all knowing nail technician. I don't think you can learn enough about nails after doing just one course or one system. If you're going to be a nail technician, my view is learn everything there is to do about nail technicianing. So it's not just acrylic or not just hard gel, depending on what you've chosen to do first. There's that crossover where, there's a lot of people with allergies out there and they've got an allergy to acrylic. So if you only do acrylic and that customer comes to you asking for hard gel because she still wants the length and the strength, etc., you have to turn that person away if you don't do hard gel. So my ethos with education is that it is key to having a successful business that you can offer everything to everybody. If somebody comes to you with a specific issue and your knowledge is limited to just acrylic or just gel polish or something, you can only do so much for that person. And for me as a nail technician, I want to do what I need to do to make that customer's dreams come true. So having all of those systems under my belt, qualified in them, and having all the knowledge that goes in the background is kind of my thing, really. Like I said to you, I come from a technical point of view. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing, but it's got to be structurally sound as well as a nail, so it doesn't break and it doesn't lift. So my thing at the moment is the why and the how. So just before lockdown, in fact, it's been over a year, I actually filmed a couple of series which are online now. You can purchase them. And the one thing that I was seeing was a lot of nail technicians, qualified nail technicians, coming onto my upskilling courses. And when I'm talking about like sort of maybe doing some 3D flowers or something with acrylic, and I'm talking about polymerization and getting the right mix ratio and draining the back of the bead, I would a lot of the time I would get some puzzled faces looking back at me, and a bit more a bit more of a conversation later. Nail technicians who are qualified don't know what mix ratio is, or don't know what the mix ratio of the product that they are using is. They don't know why they're getting marbling in their acrylic. They don't know what polymerization is or how to use it. They don't know why they're getting lifting. They're doing everything that they were taught to do, i.e. Push the aponychium back, remove the cuticle, all of these things they are doing because that's what they were taught, but they don't know why they're having issues. So my thing right now, and this is why I'm pumping into my education like full force, is the why and the how. Why these things are going wrong, what is the cause of an issue, so we can get right down to the root cause, and then how to fix that issue in numerous different ways. There's not one thing fits all. People sometimes are more suited to acrylic than hard gel, or vice versa, and there's more than one way to solve a problem or solve an issue. So I go into depth these days in my education, and if you come on a beginner's course, whether it's one of the short courses or a longer course that spans over time, you will get the same background knowledge, and that is the bit that I feel is being skimped upon in courses, and especially with the the pandemic, as it's been happening over the last year, there's been a lot of online courses trying to teach people from a beginner's level. And I'm getting a lot of people coming back to me feeling that they don't know what they're doing, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't know why this is happening and they're having problems. So I'm working with a lot of nail technicians at the moment to try and solve their issues before we go back to work on the 12th of April. Fingers crossed we do go back to work on the 12th of April. So yeah, for me, the ethos is the why, the how, knowing what's gone wrong and how to fix it. And if you know that background knowledge, then you can troubleshoot anything that comes across your path in the future. And it's only with that background knowledge that you can do that. You know, this is not a face value kind of industry, other than your nails look pretty. If they don't last, that client's not going to come back to you, or they are going to come back complaining and moaning and asking for refunds or for them to be done again. So, and that just causes everybody more stress. So the background knowledge is what I'm concentrating, and that's what I'm doing a lot of work with in the background with the educators that I work with, because I have got a team of educators around the UK, of which, Paula, you are one of them, of course. And we're just really going to town with that background foundational knowledge that is going to stand you in good stead for the rest of your career.
So what are your thoughts on the industry today? I know it's a fast-moving industry, but tell me, what are your thoughts on where we stand today?
I think the nail industry today is exciting, fast-paced, and it's exploding, isn't it? It's exploding. There's never been so many nail technicians out there that are excited to be starting their own businesses. But I do think we've got a bit of an issue with two areas. One is education, and one is the freedom of chemicals and professional nail products on the market, on the internet, that are readily available to people who aren't qualified in them yet. Maybe they're just an at-home nail sort of technician doing their own nails, maybe their mum's or their friend's nails, or the qualified nail technician buying products cheaper online, not necessarily labelled properly. They haven't got the MSDS sheets to go with them, and I think that's going to come back to bite us at some point. With the allergies that we're seeing, there's a lot of products with ingredients that aren't supposed to be used in cosmetics in the UK, and we do come under that banner of cosmetic products. So yeah, I think that we're definitely making moves towards regulation, as far as I'm aware, and I can't wait for that day. In terms of education, the same thing. We need a standard, we need a set base to work from, that everybody's getting that knowledge that they need. As I say, I'm a massive advocate for education and making sure that you guys have got what you need to start your business, what you need to actually do nails, and it be a successful set of nails that you do every single time. Because there is so much that can go wrong, and we do make it look easy as well. We make it look very straightforward. We make it look nice and easy on YouTube videos, but there's a lot that goes on in the background. And if you get something wrong on the way through during the prep or the application, then you can get lifting, bacterial infections, pocket lifts, cracking. You can damage somebody's natural nail very easily just through the application or through the incorrect removal. So there's a lot I think that we need to do within the industry, but I can see that we're working towards it, and I'm helping as much as I can to push that from the background where I can. But I think you've got to concentrate on yourself and your own business a lot of the time. And with me and my education offering and Mystic Nails, I feel that we've got all of that kind of tied up already, and we've got a great product that's of excellent quality, nice and affordable for people as well. It's not, radically out of the realms of being able to afford it, even for a new nail technician. But I also, I think there's a lot of business that's coming alongside of what we're seeing on Facebook and social media. There's a lot more business that's being talked about. So how do you actually earn money in this industry? And I love that. I've been doing that with my students and the people that I work with in salons for years, really, because I always have these conversations with people, whether it's at lunchtime or during class, as to, so how do you actually make money doing this then? And I'm not earning the money that I should have done or I thought I would do. And when I probe people about that, a lot of the time people don't know how much it costs to do a set of nails, how much it actually physically costs them. They haven't even got an idea in their head of what they want to earn per hour as wages for themselves in their business. And I feel like, we're closing that gap a little bit as well and giving people some education there. So I've got high hopes for the industry, moving forward. I'm just fingers crossed that we're going to get some more regulation, and we're going to tighten up those cosmetic kind of issues with ingredients and buying unregulated from the internet, etc., and making sure that nail technicians have actually got something good in their hands, something safe in their hands. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that day, put it that way.
So what's a normal working week and month look like for you?
Oh, this is a good one. So a normal working week or month, it depends whether you're talking about normal before the pandemic or normal after the pandemic or during the pandemic. We're not quite out of it yet, are we? So normal before the pandemic, I'll go through that one because it's a similar sort of thing. It's just been diluted down at the moment. But I obviously I sell products through my website, rebeccaorme.co.uk. So we've got those orders coming through all the time. And since letting go of the lease on my shop, my physical shop, the products are now in a fulfillment centre. So when an order comes through, the internet, obviously the website, just sends that order straight through to the fulfillment company. They grab it, they pick it, they pack it, and they send it out for me. So I haven't got to worry about that side of things anymore, which is a massive relief to me, because that takes up a lot of my time that I want to be talking to people and doing something else that's going to help people, like an online video, or sort of bringing in new products that that I've spent time sort of with Mystic formulating. I've got a couple of products that just for the UK, even they might launch them globally, but just for the UK that we've got in the pipeline. So that's freed up a lot of my time. Obviously I was doing a lot of session work. I was in London 2 days a week at least, sometimes 3, sometimes even 4. So I was spending time in hotels where I could just get the laptop out and do a bit of work. I created my own website. So while it might not be the best website ever that hit the internet, I created that website myself. So I maintain it myself as well. So sometimes I'm just sitting there uploading images and information and descriptions. I write blog posts on key points, what I feel like are key points. So whether that's to do with a product or how to do something within your the nail industry, within your business. It could be something to do with business and helping you to work out the cost price of something. I do a lot of education, obviously. Normally I do a lot of education. I still educate personally. So within my area, within the West Midlands, I run everything from beginners courses up into master classes and upskilling classes. I also go into colleges because I support them with nail art kits for their students. So part of my package is that I go into the college and give them a day's training. So that could be a master class in anything that they feel like they want, depending on what they're doing in their course, whether it's level 2, level 3, depending on how far through their course they are. I go in and give them a bit of inspiration, a bit of a break from the normals, from the let's practice, let's do an assessment, and the normal day to day in the college that the students get a bit lost in. It's like, oh, we've got to do this again kind of thing. So I go in there and give them a bit of a G up, and that could be a competition. It could be I've got a fantasy mermaid class. I'm not a fantasy girl. It's not my forte, but it's quite inspiring to show people what acrylic can do. Again, for me, it's from that technical side of things, polymerization and picking up the right bead, the right mix ratio, and manipulating that bead so it works for you. So you can create all these like amazing fantasy art works. So yeah, that kind of interests the students in colleges and gives them a new lease of, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you could do this kind of thing, Obviously, I do a little bit of travelling when that comes up. After the pandemic, I'm a little bit more limited because I have a baby on my hip a lot of the time. So I'm going to have to get babysitters and rethink the whole, can I go on this trip, or how am I going to manage to go on this trip? My husband's self-employed as well, so he has a business that he's got to run. So we worked that quite well between us, even through the pandemic. He's kept working because he actually supplies mechanics with tools and things that keep the garages open, and the garages keep the supermarket vans on the road, or the lorries on the road, or the ambulances on the road. So he's kept working all the way through, most of the way through. He actually stopped to start with. But yeah, we tie that all in together, and I've got my own little she shed at the top of my garden now. So that's my office with my nail desk, and everything's laid out there. So no tiny little fingers can get their hands on my products or my brushes. I've got my nice little office all set up, ready for filming, or sort of doing any kind of work that I need to, even if it's just on the laptop, just quiet for an hour. So that's what fills my time. I vlog a little bit, I write blog posts, as I say, and I try and maintain the social media side of things as well. So I'm hoping to do a lot more on social media by way of, this is what Mystic Nails is all about. This is what I'm all about. This is what the products can do for you as a business. And I want to bring a lot more of that to my customers and to the people that potentially could be part of that Mystic Nails nail technician family in the future. So hopefully I'll get to do some session work again after the pandemic, because that's kind of come to a grinding halt at the moment, and I'm waiting for London Fashion Week to start again. I missed that a lot this year. I thrive on the excitement and the frantic kind of oh my gosh, we've still got 3 models to do, and so I'm waiting for all that to start again and kick back in. But yeah, when you write it all down, it's quite a bit there.
So thanks for sharing all of your expertise and knowledge with us, and letting us have a little bit of an insight into who you are and what you're about. But can you tell us what is next for Rebecca Orme?
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun, actually. I was a little bit nervous about doing it to start with, but I always get into these things and you feel like you had fun at the end, don't you? So thanks for having me, first of all. What's next for me? I am starting to work a lot more with educators and ambassadors and distributors. So I'm slowly but surely, and the pandemic has kind of put a dampener on things, but I'm slowly gaining a lovely team of people around me. So I've got educators around the UK, and I'm looking for more of them as well. They're all highly skilled, been in the nail industry for years and years, and have lots of experience of running their own businesses as well as just being a nail technician. So I think that goes a long way when you're talking to people who are beginning in the industry. It really helps when you've got that experience behind you. I'm working with some ambassadors now. So that's helping to get the word out on social media about our message, our ethos, and the brilliant products that we have got and what they can do for you, how they can help you and support you in your business. And also distribution side of things as well. I'm getting some distributors on board, like Melanie Lewandon. She's a sub-distributor for Mystic Nails with her business partner Laura Pete. And, you know, we are working together, especially when the industry gets back up on its feet after April. That's the way I'm going. I want to work with more people than ever before, and I want to expand our reach and tell people all about Mystic Nails and the business and the brand, and help as many people, support as many people as possible, because for me that's what it's all about. It's not just here's some product, you know, go use it. It's how can I support you more? Is there something else that I can help you with? Is there something else that you need or you want to do and I can help you get there? So whether that's where, you know, sort of doing a competition, entering a competition, you know, doing well at it, or whether you want to be a distributor yourself at some point or an educator in the future. I help people get there, and I quite like the fact that, you know, I was part of that journey myself. So yeah, expanding my team, expanding the reach, and getting out there, really, getting fully out there again after the terrible 12 months that we've had.
So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Rebecca, and what a thoroughly lovely lady she is, and what a wide and varied career she's had to date. Absolutely love talking to Rebecca. I find her really inspirational in everything that she does. So if you do want to check her out, I'll link below her website along with my educator voucher. So if you do want to purchase anything, please use the voucher and you'll receive either a free gift or a discount from the recommended retail price. I'll also link below the Mystic catalogue as well, or the Mystic Bible as we call it, and just so that you can have a look at all the products that Mystic offer. You've seen the brochure before, I've shown you that on camera before, but it's worth having a leaf through electronically as well. And other than that, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and click the bell so that you receive a reminder every time I upload a new video or a new vlog. So take care, guys, and I shall see you in the next vlog. Take care. Bye.